The first thing she noticed was the silence, not the peaceful kind, but the heavy, aching silence that presses on your chest when the world celebrates without you. On Christmas Eve, beneath a flickering streetlight outside a crowded cafe, the deaf woman sat alone on a cold bench, her hands trembling as tears slid down her cheeks. People hurried past with laughter, gifts, and warm coats, never seeing her pain. Stay with this story until the very end, because what happened next changed 3 lives forever, and if stories of unexpected kindness move your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss moments like this. Her name was Lena. She had learned long ago how to read the world through eyes instead of ears, the way mouths moved, the tension in shoulders, the subtle cruelty of people who spoke over her as if she wasn't there. Christmas had always been difficult, but this year was unbearable. Her mother, the only person who had ever signed to her without hesitation, had passed away in early spring. The small apartment they once shared now echoed with memories Lena could not hear but could still feel. On Christmas Eve, she had promised herself she wouldn't cry, that she would simply walk through the city lights and remind herself she was still alive. But promises are fragile when loneliness sits beside you. Inside the cafe, families crowded around tables, steam rising from mugs, hands passing plates of cookies. Lena watched through the glass, imagining warmth she could not afford. She had spent the last of her savings on rent and a simple candle for her mother's grave. Dinner tonight had been a dry roll from a corner shop. When the cafe door opened and laughter spilled out, she flinched instinctively, even though she couldn't hear it. She hugged her coat tighter, wiped her tears, and stared at her hands, wondering when they had started to feel so empty. Across the street, Daniel was wrestling with a very different kind of chaos. A single father of a 6-year-old boy named Noah, he was already exhausted before the night had even begun. Noah tugged at his sleeve, pointing excitedly at Christmas lights, his mouth moving faster than his legs could keep up. Daniel smiled, though worry flickered behind his eyes. Since his wife's death 2 years earlier, Christmas had become a careful performance, trying to keep joy alive for his son while quietly managing his own grief. They were on their way home from a modest dinner when Daniel noticed Lena sitting alone, shoulders shaking. At first, he thought she was on the phone, maybe arguing with someone. Then he realized her lips weren't moving. Her hands were clenched, not gesturing. There was something about the way she cried, silently, deeply, that made Daniel stop. Noah noticed too. He tugged his father's hand again and pointed, his brow furrowed with concern. "She's sad," Noah said softly. Daniel nodded. "Yes, buddy, she is." Daniel hesitated. He had learned long ago not to intrude where he wasn't wanted. But something inside him, something shaped by loss, wouldn't let him walk away. He guided Noah across the street and stopped a few steps from the bench. Lena looked up, startled, fear flashing across her face as she saw a strange man and a child approaching. Daniel raised his hands slowly, palms open, and gave a gentle smile. Then, carefully, he began to sign. "Are you okay?" Lena froze. Her breath caught in her throat. She hadn't seen someone sign to her in weeks, months, maybe. She stared at his hands, then at his face, as if afraid this might disappear if she blinked. Slowly, she shook her head. "No," she signed back, her fingers stiff from the cold. Daniel nodded, his expression softening. He signed again, slower this time. "I'm Daniel. This is my son, Noah." Noah waved enthusiastically, his small hands clumsy but sincere. Lena felt something crack open inside her chest. She managed a small smile and signed her name. "I'm Lena." They stood there awkwardly for a moment, the city moving around them, until Daniel signed the words that would echo in Lena's heart for years to come. "Come home with us." Lena's eyes widened. She shook her head immediately, panic rising. She signed quickly, explaining she didn't want to be a burden, that she was fine, that she would go soon. Daniel listened patiently, then knelt so he was closer to her eye level. "It's Christmas Eve," he signed. "No one should be alone tonight. Just dinner. Just warmth." Noah stepped forward and held up a small paper star he had made at school. He pressed it into Lena's hand. "For you," he said, his voice unheard by her but his smile unmistakable. Lena looked at the star, then at Daniel's hopeful eyes. The wall she had built around herself began to crumble. Slowly, she nodded. Daniel's apartment was small but warm, filled with mismatched decorations and the smell of soup simmering on the stove. Lena removed her coat, her hands still shaking, and took in the scene: the crooked Christmas tree, the handmade ornaments, the framed photo of Daniel and Noah with a woman whose smile radiated love. Daniel noticed her gaze and gently signed, "That's Noah's mom." Lena signed her condolences, her eyes filled with understanding. Grief, she knew, spoke every language. They sat at the table together, and though Lena couldn't hear the clink of spoons or the hum of the heater, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time: belonging. Daniel made sure to sign everything: stories about Noah's school, jokes about the crooked tree, even his own awkward attempts at humor. Lena laughed silently, her shoulders relaxing as the hours passed. After dinner, Noah insisted they decorate cookies. Flour dusted the air, and icing smeared across the table. Lena watched Noah's exaggerated expressions as he explained his designs, and she found herself laughing harder than she had in years. For the first time since her mother's death, Christmas didn't feel like a reminder of what she had lost. It felt like a beginning. Later that night, as Noah fell asleep on the couch, Daniel and Lena sat quietly, the lights from the tree casting soft shadows on the walls. Lena signed about her mother, about the loneliness, about the fear that she would always be invisible. Daniel listened without interrupting, his eyes kind.